Sports Show, New York baseball talk, whatever you want to call it, whatever the kids are calling it, on that smoke wagon you call the information superhighway, a.k.a. social media. You can find New York Minute Sports and Pudgy Boyz Sports on Instagram. And today, we're going DEFCON 6. Warning, 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 warning. Mets just got swept by the Rockies. Mets just... Paging Dr. Herman, it's mayhem in Queens, and it's New York Minute Sports. Let's go! Well, that's the way I feel about the New York Mets. Mike, what's going on, bud?
I feel like every time we do a video, I'm coming on and I'm trying to tell you everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. It's early. Let's calm down. Yeah. How many more days can I possibly go, or how many more videos can I possibly go and tell you everything's going to be okay after just getting swept by a team last year that I think lost 119 games?
The Mets are a really bad baseball team, and if you guys were living under a rock this weekend, the Mets got swept by the Colorado Rockies. Okay? It isn't your grandpa's Colorado Rockies. These guys are an improved Colorado Rockies team in Mike's defense and the New York Mets defense, but I do not see this going well. And do you believe? Let's go back to the subject of the tinfoil hat. Is there any semblance of truth to my Juan Soto Lindor injury? One man enter, one man leave, but Queens is Thunderdome.
No, I don't think so. I think that we are just I just think the franchise is just completely cursed at this point. I don't know if you see my hat. It doesn't say Mets.
What does it say?
It says meh.
I like it.
M-E-H.
I like it.
Because that's what I feel every time I watch a baseball game. Yesterday's game of the doubleheader, the second one, I think it might have broken a record for quickest baseball game since the pitch clock started. It felt like it was about 40 minutes long. That's how bad it was yesterday.
Well, the New York Mets now are in the basement of all of baseball, and it's not cute anymore. You know, in the beginning of the season, they looked great. They looked like their lineup was going to be exactly what Stearns set it up to be with all the offensive production. You know what? Going into this season, we said it right here, is that if you were a Mets fan, you were worried about the pitching on this team. You were worried about getting length from your starting pitching, not being one of the worst teams in baseball. And, Mike, when you have something like this, it falls directly on the general manager. And my question to you is, why does this guy continue to get a pass from you?
From me, yeah, because I think I'm in this camp with Steve Cohen. Like I was really, really high on this guy, and maybe being a little ignorant to the point where when I was watching the Milwaukee Brewers and what he built over there, and the team that he built over there, which was just a pain in the ass team to play every single time you faced them. I was awaiting, just like Steve Cohen, for this guy to be a free agent and then be one of the most highly coveted front office guys, which he was. And it wasn't just Cohen. A lot of teams wanted David Stearns. Cohen outbid everybody and brought him here. And maybe after 2 years, I could be a little clouded because of that initial want for the guy like David Stearns. So I would be lying to tell you I'm not disappointed. Still not on my hot seat, but if this stuff continues for another year without a playoff run, then I think obviously, I mean, I don't know how long a billionaire waits for things to come his way.
Well, I mean, if Stearns' GM record as general manager,
I think it's around 500 or a little. Even Mendoza, it's only like 10 games over 500.
He's got a 536 winning percentage. So
in his career, Stearns.
That's including his Milwaukee Brewers.
A lot of that success is with the Brewers.
All that success is with the Brewers. Mets, I'm going to put in.
Yeah, I think with the Mets, it's not that. It's probably like just over 50%.
89.73. Bro, I mean, they keep saying that AI is going to take the world over. It's not going to do anything. It inherently lies to you and does whatever it wants and talks about whatever it wants, okay? Stearns, watch. David Stearns, GM of Mets, record, win-loss, all it does is give you 2024 stats whenever you use AI.
Because that was the only season.
It just keeps giving me 89 and 73 like a mental patient.
I'll take it.
And a 2025 outlook, the 2025 team looks like they have a high-powered what? Every time you get information from fucking ChatGPT, the thing is from 3.5 years ago. Hey, can you give me some stats on the Cardinals because I would like to do some prep work for my show? Sure thing. Albert Pujols had 21 home runs last night. No, he didn't. ChatGPT. No, he didn't. And if I got to hear Nick Swisher is on the team again in 2026, I'm going to tear my pubic hair out with a clamshell. Hey, can you do this? Nope. I'll do whatever I want. Hey, ChatGPT, can you get me this stat? Maybe. Maybe. Hey, can you give me a cat with a red hat on? Here's a can of soup. Thanks. So anyway, sorry about that.
No, they needed to hear that.
Sorry, that's about a year, and everyone keeps talking about like we're going to be John Connor and be hunted by robots. That's not going to happen. It's because they're not going to be able to get the color of your shirt right when they're hunting you. So therefore, New York Minute Sports, if you're joining us live, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. This isn't TED Talk, folks. This ain't about technology today. This is about the New York Mets just got swept by the Colorado Rockies, and Mike is sitting here. Mike, are you all right?
I'm okay. What am I going to do, man? At this point, what am I going to do as a Mets fan? What can I do? I'm not going to get angry. I'm like a parent when their kid comes home with bad news. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
So let's try to put our finger on exactly what's going down with the New York Mets. What do you think? What do you think the biggest bugaboo with the New York Mets is?
Obviously, the hitting. Guys are just not performing. I mean, there's guys with this is what kills me, dude. There's guys with track records on the back of their baseball cards that are just not they're not just matching those track records. They're really, really not matching those track records. Everybody on the team is not putting the back of their baseball card up times 10. There's nothing that they're doing right. Yesterday's game, like I said, they had one little rally in the first inning, got two guys on. The rest of the game, down. Just down, like so easily.
Yeah, and you know what? The same thing was happening in the American League this year because everybody played so lights out. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees, they played above the back of their baseball card last year. And you saw the Roosters came home to roost this year because Toronto's in last place. Boston is an absolute disaster, letting go their whole coaching staff.
So a lot of Mets fans want that to happen too, but I don't know if they're going to go that route.
Well, listen, I mean, the Mets have always had this weird relationship with the Boston Red Sox after, them being a rival of the New York Yankees and the Bill Buckner game and all that. But, the Boston Red Sox, Cora would be a perfect fit for this New York Mets team because he would actually bring a backbone. I don't know if Mendoza is the right guy to be the cooler in that locker room. And I think you're right about the hitting, but I think the New York Mets have a chemistry problem. And this is where it lies on the general manager. Because you can go one or two ways, right? If the general manager put the guys on the field, he can't help if they didn't come through, right? Hey, listen, I saw the numbers, I plug and played, I thought it was going to work out. Then it falls on the manager. Hitting coach, manager, and then the general manager are the ones, that's the pecking order of people that get fired. But when you have a guy like Cora, who's won a ring, who's known how to handle a guy like Rafael Devers, that's a guy with a track record that actually has dealt with adversity in his locker room. So, I mean, I would be on the phone possibly today with Cora.
If you're Cora, why would you take this Met job today? Unless waiting for the 2026 season.
Because it's still a sought after position, I think.
I know it is because you have the richest singular owner in the sport who's willing to provide the players that he possibly can, whether it works out or not.
Yeah.
You have a general manager that's a lot of people still don't think is good like me, but will the Mets rip up his, because you're gonna have to rip up his contract, which he's making like $7 million a year from the Red Sox, and then would they give him a brand new 3, 4, 5-year deal at this point?
You just better hope Cohen ain't turned into the Daniel Snyder of Major League Baseball. You know, I think that this guy cares, but now it's like Stearns had in his first year, he had the guys left over from the regime before, and then he was like, okay, let me do it my way. Let me do it my way. This is his way. I understand that the Mets had to do a lot of heavy lifting in their farm system. They put a lot of equity into their farm system and all that. That's great. But then when you got guys like Beatty, then you got the right fielder that started off this year, it makes you wonder, where is the Mets organization as a whole? Because you can't put your finger. There's so many leaks in this team that you can't put your finger in it to stop it.
It's true. Where do you start, right? Because there's no, like baseball, it's not like the NBA where you draft that one kid or you make that one trade. Your team goes from 15 wins to 50 with just one player.
Or you can tank. You can't tank in baseball. I mean,
no.
you technically can, but it's not a crapshoot like the NFL is. It's like, listen, the Jets should win 3 games next year so they can go after the 2026 quarterback draft class. That's as simple as that. If the Mets, if they had a lottery draft like that, they could pack it in right now and be like, get them next year. But, dude, it's not like they're the old Mets where they got a payroll of $126 million. They got the second highest payroll in all of baseball, I think. And it's just, hey, listen, man, I'm not trying to beat you while you guys are down, but the New York Mets have some serious problems.
And just a quick point on the lottery issue that we talk about. This is pretty funny how this all ties in. The Mets have spent so much money that even if they finish with the worst record in baseball, because of the money that they spent, they'll be penalized and they won't be able to get one of the top couple picks in the draft.
Yeah, so once you start spending like a drunken sailor, they start taking things away from you. And then also the luxury cap, because the luxury tax does not harm Cohen at all. He'll pay that in a heartbeat. But like legitimately revenue sharing and tax revenue is the reason that the Tampa Bay Rays are around, and the New York Yankees in the 90s pretty much solely paid that in all of Major League Baseball. They would have to cut a check for $26 million a year to the rest of the league just on taxes. And now the New York Yankees get that for a patch on their arm. But this is can they turn it around?
Factually, yes. Will they? I'm starting to lose faith in the team as these weeks progress, because how much more can I come on here and tell people, no, it's early. It's early. 28 games, yeah, it's early, but it's not early. I mean, this is kind of 14 out of the 28 games they've played, they've scored 2 runs or less. This is a Major League Baseball team.
So it's just like back to the Wilpon Mets.
Yeah, at least we had an excuse back then.
Yeah, so what's worse? You know what I'm saying? Thinking about what we could have, and if we had such a good owner that we could do this, and we could do this, and we could run this town, and we could be the big brothers in town, and then you get the guy with a lot of money, and it's almost as rudderless as it was before with the Wilpons.
It is. I mean, when you came into some of those Madoff Wilpon years, you knew what to expect, right? Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle one year and you ride that wave like they kind of did in 2015 when they got to the World Series with not good expectations. But when you come into the year, and even all of the biggest trajectories of the Mets this year in 2026 had the Mets as one of the top 5 teams in baseball. So when you come into one of those seasons where you're expected to win, expected to be at least competitive, and then they just crap the bed like this, where they have the least amount of runs scored in the league as of today, right now, it's really, really depressing and deflating.
And I think that's why it's a locker room thing. I think that this team was flying for the first 12 games of the season. They looked like the team that Vegas thought that they were going to be. World Series contenders. They thought that they were going to win the East. I mean, look at the Phillies right now. You know, and I'll ask you a question. Who do you think has a better chance of turning their season around, the Philadelphia Phillies or the New York Mets?
I'd probably say the Phillies right now because of the guys they have on the team. Like Harper, Schwarber's still there. I know we got guys, but they're hurt. If Lindor's out for an extended amount of time, I don't know who's stepping in to fill his production, but it's tough. But maybe I would say the Phillies.
Well, technically, when he was on the field, it was like he wasn't even there.
True, too, yeah.
You know?
He gets, I don't know. The chemistry thing, I can't buy into it too much because but I think Bo Bichette not hitting with runners in scoring position has nothing to do with chemistry. Like, I really don't.
No, I get it. I get it. And you know the Mets obviously a lot better than me. That's why I bring you here on the show. And you can check out Mike on Instagram, Pudgy Boyz Sports with a Z. Go over there and check him. He covers the Mets, the Giants, and the Knicks. Does a great job of doing that. And he is blowing up on socials. So go check him out. It's a good watch and a good follow, folks. Yeah, so listen, man, I just want to know from you that you think that they can turn it around, which I think that they can. I am still in the camp that the New York Mets can turn it around. I have seen crazier. I have seen the Cleveland Guardians team be 14 and a half games back last year with about 3 weeks to play, and they wound up winning the division. Can the New York Mets do that? I don't know. I would lean towards no on that because I don't know what's going to happen. But baseball's a funny game. You can click. You can click. The same thing was happening with the New York Yankees when they had their losing streak. When you're getting your brains beaten every single day, that you can't get above water and you can't figure out what aspect of your team is wrong. One day it's no hitting. One day it's no pitching. One day it's blown save. One day it's a bullpen. And that's why that's baseball, Susan, as John would say, because when we spoke last week, we were talking about Baboon, Bubbles, Buffoon, whoa, handling or mishandling the bullpen. And he was like, JoJo, the Indian circus boy with a pretty new pet, needs to get in there and start touching, right? Literally, the Yankees' problem now is that their bullpen hasn't pitched in 8 days.
That's a great problem.
Everyone's collecting dust. Tim Hill let up a home run. Fernando Cruz let up a home run. And I think Hedrick let up 2 hits for the first time this year, are 3 stalwarts, because they hadn't pitched in 8 days. So they were collecting dust. So it's almost like, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Will Warren, Weathers, and Heel, all lights out last week. What happened this week? The opposite. It's good week, bad week. Good week, bad week. Will Warren, Luis Heel, Weathers, all mediocre starts. Not a lot of length, 5, maybe 6 tops. But now, Luis Heel, we were talking about it on the New York Yankees postgame yesterday right here on New York Minute Sports. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Luis Heel was sent down. That's why you get the news before it happens on New York Minute Sports, because we were having a debate. Who's going to be that 5th starter, Mike? Because you have Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon. I have chips in my elbow, scrambled eggs in my brain, Max Fried, and Cam Schlittler when it comes back. So who's going to be the 5th starter? Will Warren, Weathers, or Heel? Heel's in AAA now. Weathers, I think, translates better to the bullpen, or Will Warren. From an outside perspective, have you seen the guys pitch, and who do you think out of Will Warren and Weathers could do it? Because I know he was a Marlin, so you did get to see some of them.
Yeah, I think his stuff. I know he's had a couple of good starts this year, but I think Weathers is much more of a weapon out of the pen. And I would give that slot to Will Warren, because I'd rather see long term. I'd rather see the development of Warren more than I would a guy like Weathers. Even if you're going to use Warren in a possible trade come at the deadline, if you're going to be bringing somebody back, I think his value is so much more than a guy like Weathers, who could be a nice piece in the bullpen.
Yeah, and the problem with Will Warren is he labors. So last start, he had an inning that was about a minute and 10 seconds long. He would take almost all the time between the pitch count now on the bump last time he started, laboring, walking around the mound. These guys need to work into a rhythm. That's Luis Heel's problem. That's Will Warren's problem. Weathers' problem is he can't get out of the first inning. And that's why it puts the alarm bells up a little bit. If a guy is not a good starter, if he's in the bullpen, that does not bode well, because I was in the stadium a couple of weeks ago against the Anaheim Angels when he let up 3 home runs. The next game, he goes 8 innings. They score no runs from him. Then last week, same thing. He does 5 innings, gets not roughed up, but he gets hit in the first inning. So he needs to figure out something, what's going on in the bullpen, from getting prepped for the game to coming into the game for being ready. He has a lot more hit and miss stuff than Warren Heel combined. And that was the thing. Luis Heel had like 3 strikeouts in his last 2 appearances. Lower velocity, another guy that was rookie of the year. Everyone thought the world of him. We didn't get Kyle Tucker for a rental because of him. You can add him to the Miguel Andujars of the world. That's we didn't get Garrett Cole from the Pittsburgh Pirates. So hindsight's 2020. But the greatest thing about it is now you have ECR, Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, actually coming up from the New York Yankees, who's 4-0 in AAA with a 1.47 ERA, Mike. And he is a Changming Wang ground ball hitter, and I am big on him. Pitched for Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic.
What are the timetables for Cole and Rodon as of right now? When are they expected back?
Garrett Cole just pitched 53 pitches in his last rehab start. Carlos Rodon is closer to coming back because he had a small twinge in his hamstring, maybe because he's been at fucking Whataburger, it looks like. He looks like he's 21 pounds overweight, had a little tinge in his hamstring. I mean, you know, he was day-to-day, but aren't we all, Mike? Aren't we all day-to-day? So that's the biggest thing. Now we're going into Texas. We're going to go see your old boy, 35-year-old DeGrom.
Yes, and my old friend Brandon Nimmo, who's been really teetering under the Mendoza line lately.
Well, I mean, listen.
These are the things that make me feel good right now. Please do not yell at me for that.
Baseball is the great equalizer, and eventually what goes up must come down because, you know, guys can have a great motivated start to their season. Look at what's going on with Pete Alonso. I am telling you right now, Pete Alonso's contract is going to go into Chris Davis territory by the time that thing is done.
I was on a this is what I have to do now when you're in my position. I was looking at Baltimore Orioles Twitter a couple of days ago, and they are calling him fat. They are calling him the Chris Davis 2.0 I saw. What a waste of a contract. Like, this is the thing. Real quickly. I think that's the debate Mets fans are not having with one another, right? Because it's always we should have brought guys back, but I don't think bringing the guys back was the problem. They made the right decision to gut the guys and let them go. Obviously, the stuff that we brought in is the bigger problem. But yeah, the Pete Alonso deal. Could you imagine if they had brought back Alonso and Diaz right now? How bad would Stearns be getting more killed than he is? And I don't know. You don't know how things are going to work. But.
Yes and no. Well, listen, you're going to get killed as a GM no matter what you do. Yeah. Listen, I'm calling up and screaming at Michael Kay about Jason Dominguez, who just got brought up today. By the way, Luis Heel goes down. Jason Dominguez, the alien has landed, folks. And now, this is why I bring it up. Is because I would have been better suited if Jason Dominguez never even saw the light of day at the pro level this year. Because for me, the argument would be if Trent Grisham goes out and has the year that he's going to have, 18 home runs, hitting 167 in the leadoff spot, great fucking idea. But if Jason stayed down in AAA the whole time, I could be like the what could have been, the open-ended, but if Jason was here, it's like, well, you can't say that because he wasn't here. But if he was, he would, he would have been much better than Trent. But if he comes up now and he's beef stew, now you got not a leg to stand on. But anything is better than Trent Grisham right now.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? It's like to be in your position, and I know sometimes, Matt, I get so jealous, and this is what I said there's days where I have gone to bed hoping that I would wake up a Yankee fan because, the season is just a coast for Yankee fans. Like, you're gonna get to the 90 win plateau, and then you're gonna stand there, and it sucks because the team is just doing everything they can to make the fan happy until they get to the playoffs. And I just want to be in the position just like you where I just know, in the back of my head, I know the regular season, yes, it'll be frustrating at times.
Yeah.
But we're going to get there eventually anyway.
But you know what I see the New York Yankees as is kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers of baseball now.
That's a great comparison, yeah.
You know, so would you want to be a Steelers fan? Yeah, Steelers fan is kind of cool. It's like you're in the mix every year. But I think the reason that the Yankees and the Steelers are such a good comparison is because, you know, what's worse, to have loved and lost or never to have loved at all. You know, you're in the mix every single year as a Steelers fan, and you get a first round exit. As a Jet fan, I'd kill for that.
Yeah,
And then I got
in a position.
and I got Steeler fans complaining to me every year. And it's like, bro, I'll change with you in a fucking heartbeat because I just want to sniff the playoffs. The New York Jets haven't seen the playoffs in 16 years.
And it goes back to the question you asked before, right? The difference between the Will Pontian Mets and then the Mets you have now? I'd much rather expect excellence than just be in the doldrums every year. So give me the expectations and then the depression if we don't get it.
The New York Mets followed the formula of the New York Yankees. That's why imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, Mike. You know, like you can follow all the guidelines and the blueprints that you want, and he's literally following the George Steinbrenner blueprint right now. Or actually he's trying to take it 2.0, Cohen. But I mean, you can imitate it all you want. That's why, you talk about Stearns and being for him. And, Stearns has only been there for 2 years. Think about the shit Brian Cashman gets.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like now, I fluctuate depending on what time of the day it is. If I am a Brian Cashman shill, which I am. But then I wear a bag on my head to fire Brian Cashman night when we didn't make the playoffs 3 years ago. So that's the thing. It's levels to this. You guys would be happy making the playoffs. I wear a bag on my head when they're still over 500 and miss the playoffs. So then, and listen, man, the New York Yankees are great from a 30,000-foot view. And it also doesn't help if your team's playing poorly like the New York Mets are. But the Yankees have their warts, dude. They're another one that tries to outsmart baseball, and they still got Trent Grisham in the leadoff spot. What are we doing here? They didn't put their best foot forward in the beginning of the season. And that's why a lot of young Yankee fans can't wrap their head around the way that I follow the New York Yankees here at New York Minute. And everyone goes, "Oh, relax." First of all, I'm not going to relax. Second of all, we haven't won a World Series since 2009. Not good enough. The amount of revenue, and it's not like the Yankee fans are spoiled. We show up and show out every single night in the Bronx, man. They've been getting 4 million guys since 4 million people attendance at the stadium a year since A-Rod left. The place prints money, and now they treat it like a mom and pop shop. Cheapo Hal, he's on the same level as the St. Louis Cardinals now. We build from the farm system, Mike. We go get 2 luxury pieces like Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge, and we'll fill out the rest with mediocre guys. And we went to the World Series with Verdugo and Rizzo, who had a concussion.
Forgot about Verdugo.
So when you sit there, and I think that there could be better ways to field this team, but then I was on Rosario's ass. Remember, you were coaching me up about Rosario because beginning of the season before we started, I was doing my prep work, and Rosario started off as a Met, and I was looking at some of his stats, had like 184 hits in 1 year for the Mets. So I went up to Mike, and it was just like never could get it done. What did you see on because Rosario is having a resurgence? He's like a phoenix rising from Arizona. What's your thoughts about Rosario's resurgence this year?
I love to see it, man. I really do. He was a good Met. He was a top Met prospect at shortstop, but honestly, you have to give to get. You want to go get Francisco Lindor, you have to give up a player like Ahmed Rosario. So yeah, I love the fact that he's resurging his career. He did have a little mini resurgence with Washington, and he always hit lefties. That was always his biggest thing. And he always came up clutch. He always had big hits with the Mets. He had a couple against the Yankees, actually. I think in the COVID year, he had a walk-off homer. He's always been clutch. Yeah. He's just a solid teammate, a solid player, very energetic, which I always loved. Yeah, him and Dom Smith, who's also having a resurgence with the Atlanta.
Yeah, big time, bro.
This is my year from hell.
Well, and somebody that's the who's hot and who's not. Tommy Pham just got released for the Mets.
Thank you so much.
14 at-bats.
Dude, that's why. Now, I love that there's accountability, right? You don't wait 2 months to cut somebody, but
yeah.
I watched all of Tommy Pham's 20 at-bats.
He's completely lost.
He can't swing a bat anymore. He can't catch up to a fastball anymore.
How old is that guy? 34?
30. No, I think he's like 37, 38.
Okay, so he's close to my territory. That's good.
And he just can't swing a bat. 19 at bats, 1 walk, no hits. I mean, it was bad.
So this is exactly what Brian Cashman does well. Is the Ruben Sierras, the Raul Ibanez's, the Ahmad Rosarios. Okay, he gets these reclamation projects for a year. Remember Luke Voigt, who led, I know it was a COVID shortened season, but led the majors in home runs. He gets these reclamation projects. Carpenter from the St. Louis Cardinals, who had 13 home runs in the second half of the season after the trade deadline because they got him in the hitting lab. Trent Grisham is another example of that. Development of players. They are the total and utter opposite of my New York Jets. They couldn't develop a fucking glass of iced tea. All right, let alone developing these guys. So this is what it is. Listen, man, I love being a Yankee fan. Obviously, I dedicated my whole YouTube channel to it. But I am very stringent on the New York Yankees because this is the way that me and my boys talk when we get together. It's like, no, we're hard on our team because we deserve excellence. The amount of money that I've dropped in Yankee Stadium, going to games, paying tolls. I mean, I went to 52 games 3 years ago. Think about just times that. Times 52 by 30. That's what I paid in tolls to get to the game.
That's like season ticket territory.
Well, yeah, I mean, go to the Game Time app. Okay, they haven't signed me yet, but Game Time, if you're listening to this in the algorithm, I love you. I love you. All right. Paging Dr. Herman. Go to Game Time. In baseball, you wait right till game time, literally. And you wait for the prices to drop. Wait until the first inning, the second inning. They're still selling tickets. You wait till that final minute. You lock in the cheapest price you can get. Another tip for you guys, if you're ever looking to go to basketball playoff games, buy early, buy often. Big events, buy early. Playoff baseball games, buy early. Regular season baseball games, regular season football games, buy as late as possible. Like, pull into that parking lot without your ticket bought already. That's what you should be doing. So listen, the New York Yankees, we started correcting it, but the one thing, and this is the perfect example of how I cover the New York Yankees, Mike, they just swept the Brewers. The Royals. They swept the Red Sox, and then they beat the Houston Astros 2 out of 3. Those are 3 of the worst teams in baseball.
That's the difference between both of our franchises. You're taking care of business, and my team just is the team that gets taken care of against them.
But this is a perfect example of the fandom, right? I have a majority, 70% of my comments is, yeah, but we did it against these teams. We're doing it against the worst teams. So I just say, it's like, yeah, but we played the Royals. Listen, you can only play the teams in front of you. And think about how much they'd be getting lambasted if they lost that series to the Red Sox, the Royals, or the Astros. They'd turn around and go, they're the worst teams in baseball, and we can't even beat them. The Yankees took care of business. Now we ratchet up the difficulty a little bit. You're going into a Texas Rangers team who's going to have Mark Leiter Jr. going, Al Leiter's fucking nephew's going, pitching the first game, okay? Because Mark Leiter's that fat fuck who pitched for us last year. Second is DeGrom, and then we have Nathan, the one who got away. Oh, whoa! The one that got away. Nathan Eovaldi is the one that got away.
What, do they line these 3 guys up just to play the Yankees? That's
Absolutely, dude. You think about it. That's another thing you got to take into consideration about the New York Yankees. Every time they come into town, the place is sold out.
Oh,
and every time the New York Yankees come into your stadium from out of town, no matter what team you are, they're going to play the Yankees like it's the World Series because they got a full house. And you talk about guys like, I was going to use Pittsburgh Pirates as an example, but they're good. Take a shitty team who's got empty seats right now.
The Mets.
Okay? The Mets. Okay, maybe the Mets. Guys even like that, when there's a full house, they're going to play a little bit better, man.
There's a little juice in the stadium.
There's more juice. It's just like the WWE doing house shows and stuff like that. Everyone wanted to be on the Hulkster's card because they knew the house was actually going to be packed. Now, the New York Yankees always have a fucking target on their back, but they're not the best team in the American League until maybe a month from now, they will be the best team in the American League because I still got the World Series prediction of the Padres against the Detroit Tigers. And everyone was like, do you really know baseball? Ah!
It's the early season predictions. I like when people get so angry.
Yeah, and that's also, how can you get angry at draft? I know I'm tongue in cheek on Instagram, and I was fucking shooting the shit about that tight end we got from Oregon. Is because one, Oregon never produces. I think just Joey Harrington from the fucking Detroit Lions in my head all the time, the biggest bust. And then it's like you got Marcus Mariota. I can't. Big guy Kellen Clemens, quarterback for the Jets, who also came from the Oregon, who was supposed to be beat the Steelers at home. I was there for that one. But Mike, the draft, it's so funny. People are saying like, oh, I can't believe that you didn't take this guy. How do you know?
Yeah, it's like when people say, "Oh, how did you let Reese fall to 5?" He fell to 5. What if the Jets drafted the best edge rusher in the class? You're never gonna know. You're gonna have to wait and find out.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, somebody just brought it up in the Yankees girl. Thank you very much. Volpe's coming back.
Oh boy,
bro.
That's exciting.
You want to talk? This is why I think the fix is in. This is all fixed. It's the reality show. Anthony Volpe comes in. The Jersey Shore opens up. Anthony Volpe comes in to play short. Caballero is playing so well right now.
Yeah, how do you can't bench him? He's red hot.
They will and they can.
Oh,
this is okay. This is a perfect example of what is so frustrating about being a New York Yankee fan. Trying to outsmart baseball. You have Caballero who's rolling. The New York Yankees are rolling. They're going to take Caballero out to play Volpe because he is the starting shortstop of the New York Yankees, and Brian Cashman's ego is not his amigo, and he will play him there. That's why Jason Dominguez coming up makes me worried a little bit, Mike, because he's getting reps in AAA, which he needs to get. The New York Yankees will play Trent Grisham over Jason Dominguez because they gave him a $17 million pay increase. The reason he's still hitting in the leadoff spot, Mike, is because they gave him $22 million this year to hit 167 and have a fucking slugging of 315.
Well, Michael Kay begs to differ.
Well, yes, Michael Kay also has a Mr. Potato Head. He has a nuclear reactor on his shoulders, and it's going to blow one day. And also, he's going to get a phone call back from me. I was thinking today since the Martians landed, but now, I'm just going to put him on the pay me no mind list. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. And if this kid's coming up, you got to play him because it's the most frustrating thing when you watch a team like the Mets are doing it with Mauricio, who is red hot in AAA. You bring him up, he plays one game, he sits for 2, plays one game, sits for 2. If he's not going to get the at-bats, leave him in AAA at this point because bringing up Dominguez now just to not play him on a consistent basis does absolutely nothing for his development. If anything, it's just going to continue to hurt him.
Let's give Volpe a fair shot here. Now, I've said this before. If Anthony Volpe was raised in Iowa, he would have been cut off this team a year and a half ago. Now, it's just like Jalen Brunson on the New York Knicks. My captain, oh, my captain. But also, him and Aaron Judge should start walking around town like Master Blaster from Mad Max.
Like twins.
Like Krang from from Ninja Turtles. Be a fucking great look. But, like, now the warts are starting to show up. So, like, Brunson, you know, the story was there. Undersized guy, underdog, playing above his heels. Nova Knicks, everyone's back. But now when the dust settles, you're still left with a number 2. Anthony Volpe, who they treated like a rented mule, who they brought up a year ahead of schedule like Austin Wells. And you can see it's had reverberations throughout their career for the last 3 years. Is that because when these guys are not ready to cook, they're not ready to cook in Babel. What? Yo, big hype man in the business on YouTube. What's up, Garns? So when you have a guy like Volpe, who they treat like a rented mule, he doesn't have a torn labrum now. If you guys have ever had a torn labrum, you want to cry when you blow your nose. I had one in both shoulders, okay, from playing lacrosse. It is a nightmare. I could not imagine trying to play baseball like that. Another thing that drives me nuts, and the announcers are doing it. Michael K's getting cute too. You notice the snap on Caballero's throws over from shortstop? Like these guys are almost campaigning so the front office hears them. Now, I will give you a solution that can fix all this. This is what the New York Yankees could do with their batting order to make this work. Now, Giancarlo Stanton is probably going to go down. Like I said, he's day to day, but aren't we all? When Frankenstein with snowshoes on goes down, now you can take the right fielder Aaron Judge and you can take Benny Rice and you can platoon them next to DH. So when you have Aaron Judge in the DH, you put a Rosario in right field, then you can play Volpe at short. And you know what? You can either move Jazz over to third and let Cab play second, keep Jazz at second base, or put Cab at third. Or you could play Cab in right field and Rosario at third, because then it adds another right-handed bat to the lineup. Then when you play Benny Rice at DH, you get Paul Goldschmidt reps. So now he can lead off. Trent Grisham doesn't need to hit in the first spot. He can hit in the 5 spot where his natural position is. He's going to get a bloop and a blast every other at bat, and let him do that. That's what a 5 guy is supposed to do. Have you ever seen the list? There's a meme going around about how you're supposed to set up a lineup in baseball. It's like fast guy that has a high average, second guy just gets on base. It's like, keep it simple, stupid. And that's the problem with Stearns. That's the problem with Cashman, is that these guys, I think they get bored. And they just want to, they want style points, you know?
Yeah, growing up, that's all. Even when you set up your teams in video games, you put your fastest guys at the top who get on base, the guys who are high contact in the 2-hole, and your absolute best hitter hitting third, and then your most powerful hitter hitting fourth. For 50 years, that was the template, and now it's just completely changed. Now, I mean, how many times did we see other guys leading off games? Well, Lindor, a career 3 and 4 hitter, was moved to the leadoff spot 2 years ago, and you look at a guy like that, and there's even talks about Soto going to leadoff. So it's wild what happens.
You knew every time during the 90s that you were watching the New York Yankees that Paul O'Neill was hitting in the 5 spot. That Jorge Posada, once Paul O'Neill left, was hitting in the 5 spot. Derek Jeter was the number 2 hitter. Derek Jeter is the perfect example of a number 2 hitter. He's not even a leadoff. That's why we'd have to go get Tony Womack and Chuck Knobloch and all these guys to set the table. And now the New York Yankees refuse to get an adequate leadoff guy. This is how the game's changed. This is a perfect example. Schwarber and Trent Grisham are leadoff guys now. When in a million years back in the day would that ever happen? Schwarber's an excellent 3 hitter.
He's a great power hitter. If you look back, my favorite Met team of all time is 06, right? It was the most consistent, successful Met team. Yeah. Jose Reyes leading off, great speed, steals a base.
Love Jose.
Paul LaDuca second, high contact, 320, gets Reyes over to third base every time. Beltran would drive him in. Delgado would hit a home run, and then Wright would come behind him with a double. It's just that was the lineup that you grew up loving, the guys in the positions that they're supposed to be in. Now it's just either I just need guys that get on base in 1 through 9. And it doesn't matter what the power is, what the speed is. It just doesn't matter anymore.
You know what's so funny, and you brought him up last show, Billy Beane, Moneyball. He didn't win dick. So now you have baseball that's run by general managers who didn't win anything, and then you have brainiacs who never played the game or actually wore a jockstrap once in their life. Like, there has to be, and Aaron Boone is a former player, so that's why it's good that he knows what's going on, and he knows what it's like to be in the shoes of these players. But once you let these guys get nuts, it's like, it's at the end of the day, it's not played in an algorithm, it's played on a dime, and it's played by human beings. And the New York Yankees don't believe if somebody gets hot. It's timing.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing, bro. Ben Rice will have 3 home runs last year and 9 RBIs. They sit him the next day.
Against a righty.
You play a guy until he starts dwindling down, and then you rest him. But then it's like the New York Yankees, and I always said this, it's either shit or get off the pot with them. They got guys like Giancarlo Stanton who are the old school lineup, and now they have Aaron Judge hitting in the 3 spot. They must be listening to the conversations on New York Minute Sport because Aaron Judge is the 3-hitter. He's not a 2. He's not a leadoff. But, I mean, with all the first-inning home runs that he has, like, that's why Trent Grisham not getting on base is such a detriment to the New York Yankees because you got Aaron Judge out of his 9 home runs this year. I think 3 to 4 of them are in the first inning, and none of them are 2-run bombs. And that's all because of Trent Grisham. Cody Bellinger or Rosario in the leadoff spot. We were playing Aaron Judge in the leadoff spot when he broke the home run record a couple of years ago, right? Like, we can't put Cody Bellinger, who's fast as fuck, boy. He hits for singles, hits for doubles, playing a Gold Glove. Bro, the left field that he's playing right now is unbelievable.
And why not put him in front of Judge anyway? Just to let him see some of those pitches.
See, this is yeah. That's why it makes too much sense, Mike. You're making too much sense.
Yeah, I can't work. Well, I don't think we could work in these front offices because.
Yeah, okay, so if I were to set up my lineup, if you want lefty-righty matchups and all that nonsense, it doesn't matter who Cody Bellinger or Ben Rice hits against. He's hitting both of them. You go Cody Bellinger, you can go Aaron Judge, Biggity Ben Rice, Giancarlo Stanton. Or you go Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge back-to-back, belly-to-belly. Because if you don't want to go 2 lefties, Rosario, Bellinger, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Trent Grisham with the lefty. Lefty-righty, lefty-righty, lefty-righty all day. But now, halfway throughout the season, they throw the matchups out the window. They tried matchups for 8 games, and they were like, okay, and they were, like I said to you right here on New York Minute Sports, and Mike from Pudgy Boyz Sports with a Z on Instagram and right here on YouTube. I said, this is what they fool themselves. They do, he thinks that he can cast a spell over the Bronx and we're just going to love it. And that's why I sit there and go, Jason Dominguez should be brought up. He is here now. So Trent Grisham's on notice. This is going to be where the rubber meets the road, Mike. This is the ultimate test. Is it about baseball or is it about dollars and cents? Because if Jason Dominguez comes up and has a huge game and they're playing Trent over him, you got your answer right there. And are they debuting Jason Dominguez to be a possible trade piece?
Yeah, that's why another reason you got to play these guys. How much more could you just let him sit and rot on the bench while this guy's hitting 160?
That's the double-edged sword with Jason Dominguez. He's only 22 still.
Still so young, yeah.
Yeah, he's really, really young. And also the surprises around the league as far as baseball is concerned is, and it wasn't a surprise to me, is the Cincinnati Reds. I said it right here on New York Minute Sports. I predicted them to win the Central is because they have Francona as their head coach. He will take anybody and make them better. The Boston Red Sox, the Guardians, and now the Cincinnati Reds. He'll do the most with nothing, and that's exactly what the New York Mets need. And they could have had Terry Francona.
Could have had a lot of guys. This team just seemed to make the wrong decision every couple of years.
Well, it doesn't surprise you that they got a Yankee bench coach. Because
no, we also just picked up another Yankee, Austin Slater.
Oh.
Dude. Cheers.
Good luck to that.
He's replacing Tommy Pham.
Austin Slater's like that doomsday fish that swims to the surface. Did you ever see that online? Yeah. Like, if you see this fish, the world's going to end in the week. That's Austin. Good luck.
I can't think of anything. When I hear Slater, my mind automatically just goes back to Saved by the Bell. I can't think of anything else.
Real quick, I got a AC Slater story. So I am at the Playwright in the city watching the Keith Dean of Mean Jardine against Rampage Jackson on Spike TV. All right? Can't remember where I put my keys this morning. I remember that for some reason. I'm going to the bathroom, hammered at the time. I'm like 23, so I'm definitely not obnoxious as fuck, right? I'm walking towards the bathroom, and I just see this guy's teeth. It was like, you ever see the cartoons where they go across a diamond or a piece of porcelain, and it's like, they got the little. I saw the light coming off his chompers, and I go, that motherfucker looks like AC Slater, and I was like, oh shit, it is AC Slater. So I go right up to him. He's sitting at a table with about 11 other Spanish women, quite portly, by the way. I don't know if that helps the story at all, but I go, what's up, AC? And he like gives me this like eye roll, and I'm like, grew up watching you, bro, huge fan. And he's like, yeah. I sit at his table, but I sit at his table with the chair backwards at AC Slater's table at the bar, and it's like strike number 2, right? So then he's sitting there, and I grab a beer out of the bucket, and he's like, oh, have a beer, you know? So I'm drinking it, and then I'm like, so what are you doing here so late, you know? And he's like, just hanging out. I'm like, I'm surprised you're out so late. Don't you got a big meet against Valley tomorrow? And he's like, and he lets it go. By the way, he's the nicest guy in the world. And I'm 23 when I'm running this whole thing. I think I'm the coolest guy in the world. So then the next thing, and then I was like, hey, I was like, at any point are the Jabberwockies going to stop by? And he goes, I need you to leave right now. And I go, all right. I go, but first, can we get a picture? Literally take out a LG flip phone to take a picture with him. I will be posting on socials later just because of this story. But yeah, AC Slater, I sat backwards in a chair at his table. And it was, I was obnoxious, but it was one of the highlights with AC Slater.
That's it. It's a little full circle moment now.
Is it? Who are the Mets playing next?
Does it matter, dude? We're off today, so we can't lose today. Washington is coming to Citi Field over the next 3 days. They have Tuesday, Wednesday.
All it takes is you sweeping the Nationals
to get us
now
7
the
games.
Juices are flowing again.
Dude, I said this to a friend this morning. A win tomorrow night starts to make morons and delusional people like me start to believe again. It's all it takes is one win. And I start to get back on the train of, okay, let's get 2. Let's get 3. Let's get 3 out of 4. Let's get 5. You know, it happens.
Robbie Garnes wants to know if AC Slater is a chubby chaser. I think those might have been his familia. And I don't know if Mario Lopez is going for the opposite sex, if you know what I mean. New York Minute exclusive. He's letting young svelte white boys sit next to him that are 23 at his table. Why do you think he's doing that? Luring me in with free Coronas? That's how I got kidnapped the first time, Mike.
Is he the biggest celebrity you ever met?
No.
Who's the biggest?
I met Junior Seau, Defensive Player of the Year, year that he won.
That's awesome.
So I was coming back from school shopping, and I was in 5th grade. I'm coming into my street, and I see this dude who looks like a Greek god at the end of the block in his swimming trunks with his shirt off. And I go, is that Junior Seau on my block in my town? Like, I go to my house. I tell my dad, I go, Dad, Junior Seau's down the block. He thought I snuck into the shed and started huffing paint. And he's like, yeah, okay. Junior Seau's at the end of the block. I grabbed my street ball, sent in proof of purchase for Castrol GTX oil, okay? Got a street ball. It's a San Diego Chargers ball. Loved the helmet as a kid. Didn't root for the team. Get on my bike, drive down there, and he sees me, and he goes, hey, kid! He's like, get over here. I drive right up to him. I go, you Junior Seau? He goes, yeah, what's up? Bro, this guy was fucking jacked. And then he's like, hey, what's your name? So he writes me an autograph, Be Yourself, number 55, gives it to me, and he goes, hey, what are you doing for dinner? And I'm like 11, I think. And I was like, my mom's making pot roast. And I was like, we're Irish, so we have pot roast every Sunday. He starts laughing. He goes, go home and ask your parents if you can have dinner with me and the Stab family, by the way, great people. They run Oak Neck Athletic League here in my area. Also, they own car washes with Junior Seau in San Diego. That's how they had the connection. So he was at the end of the block, had dinner with Junior Seau.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Had dinner with Junior Seau at 11 years of age. Fast forward, my senior year in high school, we fly out to San Diego for a lacrosse tournament. We play in the tournament. We beat every single team in California because we're a lacrosse team from Long Island. So we could have mailed it in if we wanted to. We're at Seau's restaurant. I'm in front of the whole table of me and my friends, teammates, and I feel these big hands on my shoulders, and he goes, "What's up, Eric?" And I turn around, and it's Junior Seau. So this is 8 years after we met on my road, and he surprised me. So, like, everyone on the team is like, holy shit, Eric knows Junior Seau. I'm like, I stand up, I'm like, oh, Junior, me and Junior go way back.
Me and Junior?
So Junior's like, come on, I'll show you around the restaurant. He takes me up from the table. Me and him are hanging out. One of the nicest guys. Rest in peace, Junior. Rest in peace, bro. He was a very nice man. He was extremely nice to me, and you could tell that he had a huge heart, and he was a great guy. So I would say that was probably the biggest one. Biggest impact also. There's definitely people that I'm leaving out because, like, I mean, I'm not a big chaser or stuff. Who have you met that's a famous person?
Just wrestlers, I guess. I met Stone. I guess Stone Cold will be the most popular one at the.
I mean,
Lion.
dude, Stone Cold is, yeah. I mean, he's globally. People wearing 316 shirts in Pakistan.
People don't even like wrestling like Stone Cold. Like they just know Stone Cold Steve Austin. So it's like, yeah, he was a super nice guy.
Was it a signing or was it a meet and greet?
No, it was a signing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Train signing.
Get over here, Mike. Hey, Pudgy boy. Come on.
Yeah, he was Pudgy Boy like 20
Yeah,
years.
Come here, Pudgy boy. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, the Austin needs work, and so do the New York Mets. We're going to get to them this week. They have off tonight, the New York Mets, thank God. Rest easy. The Yankees go down to Arlington, playing the Texas Rangers. Going to be a good series, guys. This is going to be a good litmus test for the New York Yankees to see where they're at. This is going to be where the rubber meets the road, guys. Mike, tell them where they can find you on socials.
Instagram, TikTok, here on YouTube. Pudgy Boyz Sports Talk with a Z, not an S. Make sure you type in the Z because it matters. That's where I could be found.
Pudgy Boyz with a Z Sports.
Yes.
All right. So listen, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is our live show on Mondays, and we will be here documenting all the pain of the Mets and the Yankees season. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and hit your notification buttons. And remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Good night, Canada. Get out of the basement of the AL East and make this more interesting for me, please. And remember, Mike at Pudgy Boyz Sports, but the boys has got a Z. And if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Bye.